been in the internet space for 25 years or even more, 1995. So yeah, more or less, I've been an internet entrepreneur, whatever that means, for the last 2 decades. Created different internet companies and especially online gaming, online poker, and sports betting for the last, or at least 15 years ago. End of 17, early 18, moving to the crypto space with a sports angle. Not at all about payments, actually. For me, I don't like the word cryptocurrency. I hate it. I think it damages more than it helps. I'm more into crypto assets. I believe technology should be used to create new usage, not just replace anything. And what I'll give you a fun fact based on my interaction with Bitcoin. I think it's in 2014. I'm in Iceland for post wedding, and the funny thing is there is this little supermarket and there is this logo. You can pay here with Bitcoin. And I'm like, what is this scam? I mean, I'm a tech guy. I've read about Bitcoin. I have no idea in 2014 what is it. But for me, like everybody else, I think it's bad. It's a scam. It's never going to work. Well, I actually tweeted about that a couple of times, and I never deleted my tweets for a very simple reason, because I want to show to people that you can be against Bitcoin at the beginning because you don't understand what it means, and then eventually go and work in that space. There is a question of chicken and egg here. Is do we Are we trying to bring people into Web3, or are we trying to use Web3 to actually have utility? And in our space, at least in the concept of Chiliz and socios, we are about, and that's how we created what we're doing, is it's all about trying to bring utility. What does it mean? It means that for us, 99% of sports fans are not in the stadium, not in the city, not even in the country of the team they are supporting. What can we create that is valuable for a fan, scalable for a team? That's why we created fan tokens. Why? Because we wanted people to be closer to their team, wherever they live in the world, in Korea, in Turkey, in Brazil, in Vietnam, wherever. And we use this word, or we use this almost slogan, that we want to shift from a passive fan, where, as you say, you're a standbyer, to an active fan, where you're not just a spectator, but you're actually part of the community. We think Web3, crypto, as digital asset solve, I hate that word, but at least answer that problematic. Is you can get closer to your team because you own something that is limited, that has utility, and therefore has value. And that's how we started with the fan tokens. And now we work with what, 80 teams all over the world, more than 80 teams, 100 plus, but 80 tokens from football, Formula One, UFC, MMA, tennis, etc. The way we were lucky in many ways to succeed in onboarding these teams came from a lot of things. First, this happens in summer 2018. Summer 2018, we started to talk to a lot of sports, football teams mainly. You have to understand that has nothing to do with crypto. In sports, there is more or less 4 pillars of revenue: sponsoring, TV rights, merchandising, and ticketing. All of these revenues actually have a ceiling. Sponsoring is actually more or less flat or going down. Sorry, not sponsoring. TV rights. Sponsoring, you cannot sell more than what you have on the jersey. Ticketing, you cannot increase the price of the tickets, otherwise people are unhappy. And you can sell a bit more merchandise, sure, but there is a ceiling. So what are the new products you're going to be able to develop that makes sense for the team, or for the IP, or for the community? Anything that is a loyalty program makes sense. Now, most of clubs have a loyalty program, but it's very much driven to the traditional hardcore fans that are in the area, or the region, the domestic fans. It's not really designed for international fans. We thought that should be our play. We should help clubs to actually engage and monetize their international fans, their casual fans, fans that are not exclusive, meaning that they love multiple clubs, which is actually the trend. And when we started to engage with these clubs, we've been very lucky. For first reason, been lucky because we had capital, we had money. I always say that, I hate to say it, but if you have money, a club will listen to you. It's not about the idea. You have first to come to the fact that you have to show that you have enough resources to actually be an interest for them. Then it's up to them to decide if they want to do it, but there is this kind of barrier. And so we were very lucky in 2018. Then something sad and incredible happened is COVID. COVID has been an accelerator of our business for a very simple reason. At some point, for 6 months, in most of the countries in the world, 100% of the fans were not in the stadium anymore. So every single CEO of every club asked themselves, what is my business model when there is nobody in the stadium? And our answer was, it should be the same, that when there is someone in your stadium, you should also take care of the ones that are outside. And that's what actually was the accelerator of our business. In a way, I will say it's a love-hate relationship sometimes with clubs and marketing department for a lot of reasons. First one is we are an outsider, meaning that we are the one, especially with Chiliz is the blockchain, but Socios is the consumer-facing app, and the fan token is in between. And actually, if you want the fan token of Paris Saint-Germain, you go on Binance.com or you go on Socios.com and you can buy it. If you own it on the utility platform, which is Socios, then you can vote and you can do all of these things. But that's not a platform that is owned and run by the club. So sometimes you get some friction about what the club should do internally, what the club should do externally. Having said so, we've done in the last 5 years things that most of clubs never done themselves. And I'll take this example here. We're in Turkey. There is a club, I'm not sure if it's Galatasaray or Trabzonspor, but that ask their fans, actually they ask their fan token holders to choose the number of the jersey for the new player they signed during the transfer window. And we had that 2 or 3 times already. We had Juventus, the first poll ever launched was, what music do you want to have in the stadium every time we score a goal? Well, guess what? 4 years later, if you download Pro Evolution Soccer or FIFA, I don't remember which one is it, and you score a goal in Juventus Stadium, you will hear the music that was chosen by the fan token holders. So the thing is, for some people, and especially people who hate to talk bad about what we do, they like to say, oh, this is gimmicky. But this is only gimmicky for the people who don't care. For people who care about their club, it's relevant. And for us, it's a matter of how can we push. I like to say that with owners of clubs. Of course, we're close to a lot of owners or managers of these clubs. Our job is to push them out of their comfort zone. Our job is actually to have issues with them because we want to do more for the fans. And that creates some friction sometimes, but it's the legit ones. The first 5 years of our journey were about Socios, which was our app, our platform, where you have to go, you have to KYC, you have to do everything to own a $5 token or $2 token sometimes, which is a bit painful, and to be able to use it. Now we just open our layer 1 chain, EVM, and every developer in the world is going to be able to develop features for, obviously on Chiliz chain, but therefore for the fan tokens that we launch. What does it mean? It means that a fan of Galatasaray, a fan of Flamengo in Brazil, a fan of Paris Saint-Germain, that is also a bit of a geek and a developer, or not, doesn't matter, but let's say that is a developer, will be able, or is able right now, to go on the Chiliz chain, to deploy a smart contract, and to interact with these fan tokens. What does it mean? It means that the utility of fan tokens are not anymore exclusive to us as Socios. They're exclusive to the chain, sure, but the utility is going to grow because of the work of others, including the clubs. Clubs, Binance today launched their, or yesterday launched their Web3 wallet. It's great. You can expect that a lot of clubs are going to have in their app some like Web3-ish wallet on the Chiliz chain, of course. And so in the Paris Saint-Germain app, at some point, you may gonna be able to have your PSG token and have a token-gated experiences. So we call that fan token everywhere. We need, what was our force right now is our flow. The fact that everything was on our platform is what made it successful at first, but now we need to grow it outside of our platform.